That's right, violence, speed, and momentum in the first half from Vitality, limiting North to only 4 rounds, but as the story unfolds, it all turns around. Everything turns around, and what goes around is all around, because all around me are analysts, and we're going to make some sense of why this one turned back in their favor. We've got Dust2 and Sponge. We're going to begin to walk you through what was Nuke and how this one did end up a very close affair, but on the backs of a very strong CT side from North.
Yeah, both teams, right? And you mentioned in the green room, it felt like a traditional game of Nuke. Like 11-4 halves is what we used to be playing back in the day in the 1.6 realms. But both teams showed the cores of the team, the stars of the team, stepping up and just putting up those brick walls. It's not like they were doing anything special. They were just dominating and not allowing these mid-round situations to unfold, especially North on that comeback.
Yeah, no new meta was invented during that game for sure. More like rolling back the years, if anything. But you're right. I mean, it came down to the mid-rounds. I mean, Nuke is sort of one-dimensional in the sense that it is a lot about creating the smoke wall, trying to get a player downstairs, or having 3-4 players go down there and execute towards the lower bomb side. And when that was kind of a showcase of the fact that when you just don't gain a man advantage early enough, or you can't play around the rotations, you can't force someone to make a move to Secret and then maybe hit that upper bomb side, for example, it just doesn't really work out. On the other hand, you look at Vitality in the big picture, there were also some fundamental errors in how they approach situations where they already had built those advantages. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the case with them obviously being a new team. Those type of things happen even if you have the most experienced players.
Well, it's funny you say fundamentals because in all reality, it did seem like Vitality had the game in their hands. I mean, you have ZywOo doing everything that ZywOo needs to do out here. I mean, he's rocking an absurd amount of kills going into the second half. But I believe we saw a lot of instances where they made feeling plays, and they kind of came out and tried to capitalize on it at least.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Vitality and their use of utility. And we actually have a clip here we can demonstrate in that CT half, a little alley-oop, a little setup that they're able to do to get information towards that top bomb site. So as this clip unfolds here, you can see the player who's defaulting from North in lobby. He has no other help. A flash is going to come through from Apex, which allows RPK to push and find the kill. Now that forces the trigger of North's strategy to be pulled, and now they go quickly into the outer yard attack, where Alex and ZywOo actually have a fantastic crossfire setup, where Alex gets first contact here after coming out of the flash. ZywOo drops down from the window position, picks up a couple of nice easy kills, and they shut down the round from this point. So their utility usage and the way they played off each other was fantastic, but on the T side, right, they had executes. They definitely had executes.
Yeah.
They just weren't finding opening kills. There was an 11-round streak of rounds where they lost, and then by the time we get to the end, I think it was 10 of those rounds in a row, they hadn't even found an opening kill. Eventually, they identified that. They were able to find some opening kills to make it more interesting, but the mid-rounds for the French were lacking. Yeah,
and when you say like, it's like I kind of alluded to before there, even though they have experienced players, but they're still a new team, so there's certain protocols that you kind of have as a team. Like, for example, that I think it was 27th or 28th round where they finally managed to create an opening. They have the man advantage, and they go downstairs. Cadian had already rotated downstairs behind the silo, up on the little, what do you call it, the railing here.
Sure.
And he got the first kill. And how does Vitality react to it? They don't do anything. Instead, what we say in the Finnish Counter-Strike world is they beat their pants. They should have instead pushed him, and he at most would have been able to get one kill, and then he would have been traded. And then that map control, they would have gotten into the bomb site and had great positioning for the after-plan situation, but instead they ended up falling like dominoes, basically, one by one. Apex having to then creep into the upper bomb site, gets flanked, so and so. So those are the kind of things that happen to newer lineups, even if you have the most experienced players.
Yeah, and that phrase goes really well in Finnish as well. I'd let you drop it, but I think we got the point. Now, the point I need to make is now we're looking into Dust2. We're ready to get into the game. We're ready to get this pistol round underway. But, guys, where do we stand on this one really quickly?
I think Vitality's T-sides are a problem right now. We saw it in their earlier matches. Their CT sides are fantastic. They need to make sure that they can get a little bit more done on their T-sides, and their B bomb site was a problem, and we saw North hit that yesterday in their matchup. So, tighten up.
Yeah, I mean, short and sweet, I'm going to say North is going to 2-0 this one.
That's pretty short, and it could be very sweet. But we're going to leave that sweetness to these next two, are tender and all ready to go. Marinated in just about anything you can think of. Wanted more of a ginger spice than anything else. It's going to be Harry and Hugo are going to be walking us into Dust2. Let's hear what they got for us.
That was quite the introduction, Trace. Your culinary knowledge impresses me. Yeah, me and Hugo have been cooking something up here for you. It's looking good, this is. And I mean, this for me, right? I think Vitality, the issue they could have now looking into this next map is ZywOo. Counter-Strike has always come pretty easy to him, right? Like, normally he's been a guy just topping the charts, doing a great job. I'm curious, right? In that second half, he managed 5 kills across 15 rounds. Is he going to be able to get back into this game on that same level as we're so used to seeing.
I'd like to think so, and I think a big detail of that as well is if we looked at that second half of Nuke, he didn't even run the AWP until, you know, 15-14 pretty much. I think he ran it twice in that entire half. So, yeah, that's definitely a big reason why. Of course, he's a capable rifler, but we're going to Dust2 where AWPs really do reign supreme. So let's, you know, for that sake of the argument, I think he'll be okay, but let's find out. Let's not guess anymore as we head into map number 2. The chance for North to 2-0 this series and head into that upper bracket place and obviously, you know, try and qualify for the major. Not too far away, only a couple of maps, in fact, North need. ZywOo fast into middle, Vitality going for that mid to B split. Only a single man in the tunnels. Nice shot from AZ. He's so good with this USP, but ZywOo just that one little bit better. Takes him down. RPK emerges from the smoke in the tunnels, and Vitality will find the B site under their control.
Oh, ZywOo looking to try and show us that he's a little bit unaffected by that last game, but actually, he's been dropped, and so has Alex. Promptly followed up onto, and that leaves RPK armorless and alone. Holding the door. Really can't afford to long out any of these fights, and jumping around the corner is Cadian. Somewhat saved by the lack of armor there on RPK. As the aim punch plays into it, you can see, you know, desperately trying to click on the head of Cadian, but a little punch up into the edge just wouldn't allow it, and that means North finding the pistol around here in what was a 2v3 B retake. That there is normally your worst nightmare if you're a CT side team on Dust2, right? Because that B bomb site is a very, very fickle mistress.
Definitely. Luckily enough, ZywOo kind of got caught out of the window, stuck on that scaffolding as well. He gets a 1-for-1, but then his teammate tries to trade him for the door, and Cadian gets a quick shot to shut that down. And right here, it keeps North in it. It takes them back the man advantage, and as said, it puts RPK in that awkward 1v2. Unable to win it, so North starting off very well. Vitality, they're going for the hard eco in round number 2. They've got that third buy coming in just a moment. So a few deagles here. Bit of armor on RPK, who was able to find some frags in that previous as well. And AZ tasked with locking down mid. He may have a bit of a task, but luckily enough, they're going to climb up the catwalk, go a little bit safer. Not a lot of utility, so that mid to B isn't really fun when you can't smoke off the CT spawn, because you can easily get pummeled from the players on A. So MBK flashing these guys up short, where North are playing from a long, long range, car and the back of the site.
You're going to be hard-pressed to find much. There is the first few frags flying in for the North boys. ZywOo on his deadly deeg does drop the man at the crossroads. Kierby, yeah, shaking around a bit too much for his liking. But regardless, 4 players staying alive. They keep it very, very clean. North, second round locked in, able to convert that. Actually, the first conversion we've seen on the back of a pistol round thus far in this series. So finally, the Danes able to get that job done. I mean, notably, right, Vitality, they've won 2 out of the 3 pistol rounds. They've been the team failing to convert those. And, you know, if you think about it, if you think back to Nuke, you imagine how different that could have been had they just converted those pistol rounds. That would have made all the difference.
Probably would have won the map after
exactly.
That.
North, they've locked that side of it in. They value the importance of chaining those rounds together, and now we see them 2-0 up.
Yeah, and despite this being Vitality's map pick, analysts all in the same boat and thinking North are going to 2-0 this game, and currently things starting off in their favour for sure. But this is when Vitality bring in the big guns. We've got this AWP down middle, making itself very known. He spots the cross. ZywOo sees AZ go to the left side of middle, so AZ got to be careful on that repeat. ZywOo trained on this mid position as his teammates do take control of Cat, and right now it's just establishing a bit of map control for Vitality, a slight default. Little do they know, but the A site is completely uncontested, and North are getting aggressive down on long. Getting a player down behind the doors, that's Valde. Got to be careful from nades and wallbangs. Kierby even peeking into middle for a bit of information. ZywOo won't just catch it. He was too busy watching the top left side where AZ still sits.
Issue with this retake setup at long is A, they've got players coming their way, and if these guys die, that A bomb site is open for business. There's a smoke to go down on the cross, and at that point, Kierby, he can't do anything. Yeah, North, they know they have to pack this one up, pack it in, and let this save begin. North back into that B bomb site, trying to hold on to these weapons, carry it with them into the next round.
I'm very curious as to that push up on long from North there, because it seemed like they were probing down in the middle portion of the map, right? They got the info that the AWP was up on Cat. There were a couple of players there for Vitality. North didn't have short control, and it's fairly understandable to expect a bit of a long split there, but despite that, North, they still push up, they try and take those gunfights, and they lose 2 players early on. So, as you said, save coming through. Vitality with a clean round so far.
Yeah, I mean, you know, part of the issue is there for North is, as you say, right, they get the call as players down in Catwalk up on short. The only man who could really keep an eye on it was Kierby, but he's down towards CT. Definitely not the ideal angle to be that anchor for the short position, right? So those guys at long, once they push down there, they do kind of become a bit trapped, right? Their only option was to either hang around or go for those fights. They try and take the fight, and then, you know, we saw how that played out for them.
Definitely not the start you would have wanted in your first rifle round, considering North didn't need to push there, but it's still going to be 3 guns held on, and therefore a full buy in this 4th round. North have got the AWP on Cadian as well, so that's going to be the battle we've been waiting for. We didn't see too much of it on Nuke in terms of AWP v AWP, but this is going to be the exact place for exactly that. Cadian deep up on the catwalk. He might have this corner boost as well, but Kierby's just playing the bait corner. Cadian, he sits close, flash through mid. Apex does chase down Gade, but blinded, hidden in the corner. A man even drops down from short. Dangerous, but doesn't prove to be a problem just yet for North. And a 1-for-1 trade in the middle portion of the map as we see some aggression down Catwalk. Zywoo even killing Valdi in the spawn. A big pick that opens up the B site, and we're going to see these T's walk right through the smoke into the face of AZ.
Yeah, but AZ had a great performance back on Nuke, and he's been good in these kind of pinch situations. This time, RPK is able to delete him. Gade, Molotoved out from the window, not able to peek into that. And on the back of it, I'm not too sure we see North go for this. There's not really any money looking at the future. The odds are they could even elect to force buy into this next round, because potentially you're staring at the barrel of that double eco. You're only getting $1,900 at the end of this round. Depends how much utility they're looking to take with them into that full buy when they do get it. Cadian obviously could drop a rifle over. Gade maybe could throw a little bit here and there. You would have a, you know, fairly decent buy, all things considered, with that AWP in play. But on the flip side of things, we know that Cadian so often does like to go for the more passive style of purchasing. A lot of it going to come down to how much damage North can do here. If they can take down all the vitality, if they can keep racking up a body count, then maybe they buy. With that death, I don't see it happening now.
Yeah, they're going to be a max of 2 rifles if they were to buy up here, so it makes more sense just to hold on for one more round, give him an eco, come in with a buy in the follow-up, and actually have everything you need. And hey, if you put the AWP in a position to save again, if that's possible, if it doesn't just get rushed, North would have the AWP, so that's always nice. I mean, Cadian will be able to buy it up even if he loses in this follow-up round. So North, they clearly want to take a moment, take a breather, and a short tactical pause to try and work out how they will approach this upcoming likely eco. Vitality on the other side of things, they've bounced back well since the pistol, 2 rounds in a row. And just about saving that AWP in the tunnels as well in the previous round. It looked a little bit costly, but can't win them all, Larry. And actually, in fact, North are going to be buying. They're forcing up the issue here behind this singular AWP. Luckily enough, if they do lose it, it's not going to be a double eco. They've got that loss bonus behind them, somewhat supporting. So, yeah, you can make an argument for either one. It's you know, it's just coming down to how you want to play it, and that's probably why North called in this pause.
Yeah, obviously the one thing on North's mind, they had great success at these forces on Nuke. Let's quickly see how this plays out as 3 players have headed over here towards this long position. Through that smoke, Kierby is able to find some good chip damage onto Apex. The presence of that one rifle, the smoke's going down, and the footsteps that were heard have made Vitality just peel away from this long position, worried perhaps that there was going to be a rush from North. Because Vitality know that they're not afraid to show presence here. They've tried it a couple of times now.
I do like the setup from North. They put that solo AWP back on B. They set up for long in case Vitality try and rush her on the anti-eco. And with spotting really no one past Apex, they rotate a second man into B. They settle back into a far more default CT setup. And actually, that Molotov's going to be great. Cadian hits a nice shot. MBK even gets tagged as well in the meantime through the body of Apex. So the bullet penetration looking damn good for Cadian right now. And North, little do they know, they're sitting in a very good situation with MBK being this tagged up. In the meantime, they're even pushing deep into the tunnels and backing off of Vlong, exactly where Vitality have no one situated. So this cat play is going to be very much telegraphed to North.
Oh yeah, I mean, they've read this hook, line, and sinker. They know exactly what's going on right now. They haven't spotted anyone at long, and AZ now sees all these bodies heading in through short. Vitality, now that they know there's players on the flank, they're hard pushed. They have to try and head in towards this bomb site, so these frags have to come through very, very quickly. And Kjaerbye from Goose teaming up with Valde at the ramp. They have this crossfire set up. Kjaerbye's done so much, and that just leaves Alex. AZ arrives on this flank. And North, they managed to win another 4-spy round. They have been so proficient at these throughout this series.
Yeah, it's such a nice CT round. I mean, everything from the timed aggression in the tunnels, from the early setup on long, it seems like North completely read Vitality there. And obviously somewhat assisted by them getting that man advantage down in middle with the AWP. But you need that AWP to go crazy if you bring it into a round with SMGs and pistols. And look at the benefit of that. North have so much money now to play with. The full buy coming through nice and early. Vitality on the other side of things, they are far from sitting pretty. 2 pistols. So he does have his famed AWP, albeit armorless. And Cadian posted on long as well, so luckily enough, Zywo's not getting aggressive towards that position. He just holds in the back of T-spawn towards the car. This is not a round where North are going to push. They know Vitality is somewhat on the back foot. So giving them a lot of space, a lot of room to meander up through the catwalk again. This has never really been a point of contention here. We've not seen North ever challenge us, aside from that one round where Kjaerbye and Cadian pushed up early, only to back off just seconds later and drop into the CT spawn. So Vitality definitely going to be interested in the idea of an A play, and it would have to be a retake setup from North, considering they've stacked very heavily towards that B bomb site. Expecting maybe a bit of a faster rush, but not going to be the case. Smoke setup from Vitality. They do try and fake out this long position as well with the one smoke, but it's only Alex on the other side. And now this cat push is going to come through. Cadian, he's got to step up.
Oh, that Molotov to try and slow down this push and do a bit of damage. MBK, my goodness, P250, gonna go to best Cadian at the range game. Valdez clueless as to where he's getting taken down from, and that's RPK. To cement this round, there's no chance for North. It's just back and forth 4-spies. I mean, this one, obviously for Vitality, a little bit more well endowed than that, the one that North had, but not by much, right? They only had 1 extra rifle. I mean, for the most part, it's really the pistol that opened that round up over on MBK.
Yeah, lack of head armor. If Cadian had head armor there, he's not getting one tap by MBK at all. He survives that and maybe gets a chance at a repeat. His teammate as well on long doesn't get caught out from that side push. And, you know, while the triple B setup wasn't correct for North, it's a fair gamble to assume when you're going up against, you know, a weakish buy from Vitality who had 2 pistols. And assuming the 2 players on A get a kill each, a 3-on-3 retake, not really too much of a problem. So unfortunately, no early kills come out from the CT side, and Vitality, and really nice execute getting it done with a low investment. Well, I mean, it was a max investment, but still didn't have a lot behind it. So 3-3, keeping this game close, back and forth at least, and that's what we like. Not having those 10-round streaks like we did back on Nuke.
Well, we like a back and forth game, but this has been the battle of the 4-spies, and this now kind of becomes a bit of a war of attrition in that sense. You can see over on the CT side, money's all but ran low. We have a buy similar to that of rounds prior for North when they had to just kind of scavenge around the AWP they'd saved on Cadian. They've invested on the players that did go down in the round prior, and they've gone ahead and made sure that Cadian has that AWP back in hand. Last time when we saw him possessing it in this sort of buy, he was playing inside of this B bomb site. This time they made that decision to have him on short, and they might come to regret it because they've already lost Gade and B, and yeah, that save call's got to come in here for North. They give this up, and I like that. That's a very Cadian-esque save. They back off with these 4 players, just looking, as we say, as we often credit him for, looking to try and play this one by the numbers. Ooh. They've even found an extra gun here by taking out Alex.
The worst part about that is while North didn't know it, that bomb was so slow to get to that bomb site. So North definitely could have contested that in the time that that bomb was coming in through the T-spawn, but you know, you don't have all the information. You assume the bombs with the main pack that have taken over B, and as you said, the save coming through. Vitality, they're being given a lot of respect here, and do remember it is their map pick, so it's understandable here from North. And with the amount of utility this team has as well, that only leads in their favor. North very aware of that. If you have a quick B take with a couple of flashes and a smoke, Vitality are going to have full sets of mollies and smokes to just keep North out from even considering a retake. So yeah, no chance they would have been able to win that round unless they stopped the bomb, and 4 players holding onto their guns on long.
Yeah, I mean, as a result of that, they have pretty much everything they could possibly need in this round. Scout going to be over on Gade and the UMP on AZ. That's really all there is that's less than ideal here for North. The ult Picadian saved forward from around prior. That AK dropped to them from Alex, thanks to finding him over here towards Long. Means that they're able to field a very proficient buy up into this round. Vitality looking to maybe try and change the pace. Sends Zaiwu over here towards his B bombs, like watching for that cross, but he hasn't been able to spot anyone. No one inside of B right now. Kate's been spotted up in the window, but they don't see anyone inside of this bomb site, so they're going to take that. They just push on in. North have given this up, and as a result, they might even be forced into another save again, and yeah, they're backing off.
Yeah, that is not how you want to start things off. AZ does kill a man in the top of middle, but it's still not going to bait North into considering this one, and yeah, they're going to start to have to put a little more defense over on this B bomb site, because Vitality are using the 1, or in this case, 0-man setup over on B. Again, the delayed bomb coming through, but the plant is there and the round is 1. North are holding on to 5. And this is a weird start to a game of CS that back on Nuke was very much frag heavy, lots of quick, lots of slower executes rather. But now we've just got these quick B plays from Vitality, and North seemingly don't have a response.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. In the last 2 rounds, 3 players have died. It's not every day that you get to see Counter-Strike played like that.
Both these rounds have been full buys as well, so. Unfortunate again for North, but Vitality are making the best of a bad situation. They've taken the lead by 2.
It's very rare to see teams show that sort of restraint, and just opt to give up a side like that, especially in a 5-on-5, right? I mean, you understand why they've done it. Now they get to have plenty of money in the bank account here. Looking at the future, they can buy up into the next, so they're pretty well set, at least looking into these next couple of rounds. And it also, to me, shows that they must have a lot of respect, for Cadian in that IGL role. I think, quite often you do see players, when that save calls come in, they save, right? But they don't save. They don't run towards Long and all group up like North did just there, all huddling together for safety. What players do like to do is kind of hang around on the outskirts, see if you can pick anyone up, at least for the first few seconds, just teeter on the edge of the bomb site. No, that's not the North way. They managed to keep everything into this round. It's a weird spot though, and where this was a war of attrition, as I said, right, the forced buy wars back and forth, it's not that anymore, because over on the side of Vitality, they've accrued a lot of money. That is one thing that is now a problem for North, right? They've let them have 8 players survive over the last 2 rounds in total. It's 8 out of a possible 10. Money's not really a problem looking to the future now for Vitality.
Yeah, instantly double B setup coming in from North. Cadian finds the pick onto Zaiwu, and that is going to be the turning point. Now, an opening kill for North. So even if they lost the B site here, they would still have the manpower to try and give it a go. Apex abusing his mid. It's pushed all the way in. No smoke towards the spawn, so we don't have any info for North here. In fact, no one's holding it. Cadian's up on the car, but I imagine he's watching the catwalk right now, and that is the case. So this mid position is very, very, takeable for Vitality. They just don't know it yet. North committed deep within the B site, 2 players. That close corner from Gade as well, just trying to bait them in. And you can see AZ is peering into middle from the window, making sure there are no Ts sneaking up towards this B bomb site. But Vitality, they're not going to go and push their luck, Harry. They're not going to go and take B for a 3rd time in a row. So it will just be that slow cat play. Trying to turn things around from the initial pick they lost, but this AWP down on the car, no warp picked up by this T side to try and fight it back. KD may have struggled up against the pistols, but maybe this is where he's come to shine.
Yeah, this is where we get to see it return to that high flying, high fragging nature. It's not cuddle strike anymore like it has been. There's no more pacifism. We're making this play happen as Vitality push up through short. Kirby splashed off the angle, and that'll be Apex finding the entry. For Vitality, bomb gets planted for short because they've still got full control of this portion of the map. And if you're North, you're going to struggle to flush these 3 players off. They have 1 Incendiary on AZ. And actually, Apex really not ready for Valde. He's already up and through that smoke. Continuing his warpath. Gade even going to go ahead and nade down RPK, but it's MBK with a second, and he's now going to go ahead and complete 4 frags. And oh my goodness, MBK from short comes up big. Vitality 6-3. as another round graces the French scoreboard.
Oh, seems like North got a little bit scared there on the A site as well, just giving it so much room to Vitality, right? You see Katie instantly back off with a smoke. Kiebi gets caught at the back of the site with a flashbang, and that is not the perfect A defense from North by any means of the word, but massive work from MBK once again. It's nice to see other players come here and step up. We had Alex having a great game alongside ZywOo in the previous map. MBK now with a crucial couple of kills to open up another round for Vitality, 6-3, double that of their opponents on this T side. Double AWP, in fact, for North as well. Cadian and AZ alongside him. We have got AZ still locking down middle, and North again going back to that one-man B hold. Just the corner player, the man committed in the site. Probably better than playing towards a window, because you can actually try and challenge towards B and get 2 or 3 kills before Vitality execute. Oh, so close for AZ. But yet, so far, he's fully blind. Apex, same story, but he has crept out into this mid portion of the map. AZ might get caught with the timing. He turns around, shot in the back. Fully blind is Apex. That might have been from his teammate, in fact, and he's going to have to fall back. Great damage done, but it was a free kill given away. Luckily, NBK is the man to step up here.
Yeah, I mean, once again, MBK is the man to step up. He has been looking fantastic here on a Dust2. Second kill found, perfect flash thrown in courtesy of ZywOo. MBK on a tear, taking heads off inside of the A bomb site. They finally get rid of him, but at this point, he's guillotined this north side. That A bomb site's crumbled, and RPK's there to pick up the pieces. Key flashbang thrown in by ZywOo as well, sets up MBK to take that bomb site, leaves Cadian right out in the open, just like shooting fish in a barrel from that point onwards for the Frenchman. And now there's no money left for North, so it's problematic here. They're going to be going for a bit of a partial investment, Hugo. They have armor, they have some pistols around it on a couple of these guys, a few nades as well. Curious where they try and nade stack. You imagine it's going to be long. They head towards this portion, 4 players heading there now, but no one from Vitality found on this side of the map, with the exception of Alex, who is just holding back, waiting to see if that aggression from North at long shows through once again.
The B site's empty here, Harry. Vitality have 3 players in the tunnels. Not going to be pushing in just yet, but got to be very, very careful if you're North, because you might just be giving away the entire round. Now, it is only an eco, so you can afford to make these risk plays and give up a bomb site like this, but Vitality even have 1 lone player creep in just for info. And they pretty much guarantee the round off the back of it. So keep your eye on MBK down towards that B site. The rest of Vitality still grouped up in middle, and in fact, if they could try and go for this mid to B split with the bomb, they might in fact lose it. Look at how many CTs are here. The flash over the top, and Gate's gone for 2 with a CZ. Those are guns dropped as well, yet to be retrieved, but the man advantage doubled down. Cadian's tagged, and the Molotov is holding back these CTs. ZywOo, massive frag, but in the meantime, North got aggressive on short, and that's exactly when Vitality abused their B tunnels control. MBK within the site, and Vitality can go group up with him and get this bomb plant down, but there's no way North are saving this time. Surely.
You want to take that one back?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know there's 2 players low, but they've picked up guns. It's an eco. They've got a full buy round in the upcoming one regardless. So it is an interesting decision made by North to not even consider this. You see Kiebi's looking anyway to try and find a frag, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like North definitely could have had a chance to win that round, and even if they don't, they buy up anyway. So interesting decision, but they're looking to play the long game, Harry. Hold on to the money instead.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, there's definitely pros and cons to each. I can get behind this. I think, you know, for North, the pressure, they know that it's not on as much as maybe you might think. You know, they might be 8-3 down, but they're already a map up in this series. They understand the importance as well of having all this utility to try and nullify some of these explosive plays, try and isolate players like ZywOo, really limit his ability to open up this map with the AWP. And they also know the importance of having the AWP over on Cadian, because he's the man you're going to be looking toward to try and go toe-to-toe with ZywOo, try and keep him on the back foot. Tactical timeout called on him for North. Another reason I don't think they go for that retake, you know, everyone, it's kind of that B-bomb site on Dust2 really is a horrible site to retake. They were very, I don't think they had any utility, it was just rifles. So you're in that 3-on-3, you have 2 AKs, both those players were kind of tagged. You go into that, the odds are you just throw it away. Even if you get all the kills, they didn't have a kit, so they were hard-pressed for time. If you kill everyone on Vitality, they still have cash anyway, so they didn't really have much to gain and a lot to lose from that retake. They go for the conservative decision of the save. But as you say, they're giving a lot of respect away at Vitality right now, and that's kind of worrying in the long run, right? If you let these guys build that confidence up once again, because let's not forget, you just wrecked them on your CT side of Nuke. You know, you've had them right where you wanted them in a sense. ZywOo only managing 5 frags and an entire half is almost unheard of. But now you are allowing them to build that confidence back up.
Yeah, Vitality exploiting them as a result. Gade almost looked like he wanted to push B there. Could have been dangerous very early on. Vitality on the default, holding the outside of long. They've given up on going for this early long pick. Some of that being their spawn, some of that being the fact that they haven't ever really found too much success going off the back of a fast play down long. Just crossing mid, making sure that it is clear for the time being is Apex. He's sitting on 1 kill right now, so it just shows the team effort from Vitality. It's not all about the scoreboard. 8-3 still sitting. North with a far more passive setup this time. No AWP up on the car though, so they are somewhat committed to defending this A site if Vitality do go for an execute. The fact there are still 2 players in tunnels does mean that Vitality can throw in nades towards A and back off and go for that mid play. It's very common to see. And given the current North setup, that would be a really nice call to make right now because we don't have anyone covering mid. But the smoke's being set up. This could allow for a bit of a CT drop, and yeah, it is that fake coming through, it seems. ZywOo backing off with the bomb. The smokes are in on A. There's 2 players left on B, and these guys have got to hold down the fortress.
Yeah, we're going to be looking towards the likes of Gade and AZ. Now, Gade does have that Molotov. He can drop that into the tunnel, and that's bought them precious time. They hear all these footsteps as well, so it wouldn't surprise me if maybe we see some of the North guys over on A get tempted by a rotation. Here comes the push, and Gade, a lot of players there, lots of bodies in front of him. AZ really needed something. Just even 1 kill could have made that retake possible. He falls with nothing, and North, once again, they back off and save. Okay, no, now they're interested. There we go. Okay, now they found the 3-on-3. It wasn't AZ to provide it. Instead, it's Valdet to go ahead and mop up these players over towards tunnels. He's on this flank ground. He even has Alex pincered in here. And this is a massive kill. There's no one in position to trade. And actually, RPK in the nick of time picking that up. MBK goes absolutely huge. Another 4K from him. He's 13-4. My goodness. He's having a right old time on Dust2, is MBK.
Yeah, he's been playing that death match. Not too bad, 13-4. That's a bit of a hard carry right now for Vitality, but you know, a really delayed execute, and it seemed like North knew exactly, or should have known exactly what was going on. They saw those cat smokes, they saw that fake A execute, the back off, and no one to push up on that A site. And then even though Gade delays the push up into B with a molly and a smoke, North don't rotate a single player off until it's too late. So yeah, questionable there. That is going to be a kicker. And right again, Vitality, another B-side attack. It's only Gade here. He's got to go ham, and there's 2 already. MBK, of course he trades. The issue is they're still man up here for North, not for long. Alex catches that short rotate, and in fact, this never was the end game plan. The bomb is still sitting outside of long. And so North have heavily pre-rotated 2 players over to a site that's not going to get attacked. So now it is Valde alone on the A site. But who else would you want?
I mean, yeah, he's been the top performer for North throughout the minor. Over in mid, AZ even spots the players over on Catwalk and Xbox, so they might have an idea that this A player is going to come on in. The only issue is you're quite limited in terms of the space you have. Kierby clearing out the tunnels might provide them that push they need to get back into this round. MBK really has his work cut out from here. There shouldn't be a chance that he survives this, and indeed there is not. ZywOo and Alex remaining. The tag team, the dynamic duo. Flash goes over, and that's to try and open things up here. But Valde shutting down ZywOo, traded swiftly by Alex. He finds himself in the 1v2. AZ's holding the cross, and he has to hit this shot. Alex just trying to bait that out. No smoke for the cross, and AZ will be picking it up. So North, they're able to hold on to that round. They cling on to it tooth and nail. So they will muster another.
And we're starting to reach the end of the half as well. Vitality, I love how they just sort of playing with their food in that one. And unfortunately, it doesn't result in a round, but they bait out North by going for the triple B push. If Gade dies, they're after maybe 1 kill or 0 kills. I'm sure North fully rotate off A, and then they probably lose the round. So lucky that Gade goes absolutely monstrous on that B site. For now, though, Vitality finally going for another one of those fast long plays. It's been a while. Kaden does have the orb to hold off this A site back from the top of the site. He's going to move up Cat instead, and I like this reaction from North. Instead of trying to fight long, they are absolutely okay with giving it away, and instead just watch for a potential split. Common to see players move up Cat in the meantime, and yeah, North have so much info right now. They know the Cat's clear, they're about to take the tunnels for free. MBK may be holding on to the top of middle, but North don't need to go that far. They should work out from this information that Vitality are very heavily stacked on long, and as a result, these two B players can rotate. Another push coming through for Vitality, the smoke on the cross, and Valdi has a good angle here, but he's got no real support to help him out. Finally, AZ moving back into position, and Valdi, he can't catch one through the smoke. Apex has found the first kill, and Cadian, while he trades one with the AWP, there's still plenty of time for Vitality to slow down.
Oh. Cadian forced off that angle. AZ still holding here on the elevator, and this wrap round from Gade and Kirby will be attempted to check by Alex, but his head's just peeking on over, and AZ actually going to go ahead and retrieve that kill, leave Zywoo in a 1v4, and there's just no chance. AZ's so close already, so many players in his line of sight. North in with a 5th round. And yeah, I mean, you were bang on, right? They take control of tunnels, they start to push on in. You could just see Vitality relegated all over to one side of the map. North just tightening their grasp around Vitality like some sort of boa constrictor.
Yeah, the worst part about that for Vitality is because they don't have a tunnels player, they have no idea that North know exactly what's going on, right? They're expecting maybe 1 or 2 players back towards that A site, but instead, not only are there 3 players on the A site, there are 2 flanking long as well. So great info play from North. Nets them a 5th round. As we head into the last of the half, the last chance for Vitality to find double digits here on the T side. Regardless, even if this is 9-6, it's been a very good half for Vitality. Already Valdi burning down Alex on long. That was down in the doors as well. Not sure how that happened, but not the start that Vitality would have really wanted. Cadian now for the first time is sat down in middle with the AWP. It's typically been AZ on that secondary AWP there instead, and they will be playing side by side, so 2 AWPs in middle. Cadian watching the cross from lower, and upon his contact, AZ can peek out from the right side. There's the flash. AZ peeks out wide, but he doesn't find anything. Vitality able to sneak a man up short. MBK somehow predicts that angle. I don't know, but he's on 15 kills. And Valdi going down and long gets the trade in for Vitality. There will be another frag coming through from North as Kirby pushes around the edge of the smoke, and he might be able to even grab the bomb if he goes a little bit further. Vitality, they've relinquished control of the package. They need to send a man back up the top of middle, but Apex has dropped into the spawn, and he's found himself 2 on that A site.
Zywoo in with another, and that was the bomb down. North had it in their grasp. Now Gade left up in this 1v3. If you recall, his holds of this B bomb site have been good, and they have been the thing that's created some trouble for Vitality. Trying to catch this bomb on the cross, and it's the wraparound from RPK, the fail-safe. He's the man that seals this in. Good night to Gade. North forego that round. Vitality up 10-5 at the end of the first half here. Explosive from them. We'll be back with the second after a quick break. Vitality looking revitalized here on their T side of Dust2. Heading into the second half, they're 10-5 up, now moving to their CT side on their map pick. And let's not forget, they had a great CT side half over on Nuke. They're looking to try and replicate that here. MBK will get tested. Easy through the smoke, deletes him, but Alex, hot on the heels already, is quick to reclaim that man advantage from the depths of B.
Yeah, North do have control though, but there is certainly a man down, and already these CTs are deep in the tunnel. Alex going to be pushing through. The smoke fading and Valdi getting an opportunity to strike. There's a second man here though, and a third. And RPK side by side with ZywOo. They will push back in, but Valdi missing crucial shots. And Apex coming in from the door at the right time. Gade's now the last man up, and while they're one player low HP, might be able to find that frag. A single bullet's all that needed, but the reload has to come in, and he finds it. Apex trying to close the distance on the reload, but Gade's going to be able to get it done in the post plant. He was great at defending B on the CT side, and now attacking it as well. 3 kills from him. And that's the start for North. Harry, do remember, back over on Nuke, we saw an 11-4 half of Vitality on their CT side, end in a 16-14 loss. With them losing the pistol in a game that they're already leading on, this is certainly not a good sign.
No, definitely not. That also means over on this map, North are 2 for 2 in pistol rounds, so important to keep an eye on that. And they might be the only team thus far to successfully convert 2 pistol rounds in a row. MBK trying to hold this B bomb site down with a scout he's found, and just like that, you don't imagine Vitality go for this. It looks like they're already going to go ahead and back off. Issue there is Cadian waiting at long. Clearly very confident in his team's ability to hold their own at this B bomb site. Now lurks here, waiting to see if any players just wander cluelessly into his crosshair, and RPK will offer himself up. North going to be in with a 7th. That means Vitality and North both winning 2 pistol rounds in this series. Vitality winning both of theirs over on Nuke. North both here on Dust. Difference is North are the only team to convert them thus far.
And North just a big middle finger to Vitality with 2 B rushes in a row. Anything you can do, we can do better. I'd be very interested to see how long North keep this up for. Will they just continue to pressure that B bomb site, or will Vitality even stack it with some pistols? We do have a double scout in play, and they can be sapped towards A long and mid. I'll be held for yet another round. Cadian finds 1 more on the exit, but that will be it. So 3 Vitality players surviving in that post plant. And North still have 1 more anti-eco to deal with before the full buy comes in. Obviously, we had that force buy on the CT side to allow Vitality to buy up on the 4th round with everything they would have hoped for. The AWP, maybe 2, all the utility. And obviously, they have the round lead to play with, so why not go for it? Oh dear, North. Another B-rush, maybe?
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And they know in this round, Vitality really going to have very little at their disposal. MBK, he's probably thinking he's very unlucky at this point. Just, oh,
hello.
Okay, ZywOo. Still, shouldn't be too much more damage done here. Cadian looking to try and...
Oh, no.
Oh, the disrespect. Cadian knifes down ZywOo. His AWPing counterpart over on the side of Vitality, looking to try and get the BM going early on, is our boy Cadian over in the North camp. ZywOo, can't imagine he's feeling too pleased about getting knifed. Might be out for revenge here as he picks the AWP up over on the CT side.
Yeah, straight away, and we actually might even have just a bonus round run from North and a fast B execute, but you've got to remember...
Yeah, I would love it if they just go B again.
Yeah,
you just make that statement, it's only
Here we go.
MBK there, they're doing it.
But the thing is, here's the issue, right? We've got lots of utility for Vitality with Molotovs, but North can put that out. And Vitality have sent 4 players towards that A site early on. North not going immediately into B, but the Molotov is going to fade, and that's when these Ts can push right through the smoke. With only 1 defender on the other side. Apex is already starting to rotate in, but here comes the crunch. MBK only good for 1. Apex has got to double down, and that's the bomb dropped in enemy territory. He may have just saved this round for Vitality. North, they try and cheese it for a 3rd time, or a 4th time in a row, but it's not going to work out, at least for now. Cadian does catch a mid-rotation, but again, these 2 players are really under-equipped. The 3 AKs they had are lost in the depths of the B-bomb site.
They're just buried under the sea of Vitality players here. That bomb is certainly not something at the forefront of North's mind right now. Instead, it's his flank from Valde. Wrapping through, RPK very aware that as North haven't appeared, haven't reared their heads from the tunnels, nor down in mid, and that is a possibility that this flank can come through. So he decides I'll just leave mid. Why play out on my own? I can hunker down on my teammates. I can still keep an eye, use the M4 at range, and he's going to go ahead and just pivot between window. Valdez able to retrieve that AWP, but just spotted. The timing couldn't be worse. Cadian not going to win that 1v3 with just a MAC-10s. The attempted B play, the attempted, you know, that would be the real middle finger. You just keep running that instant B hit time and time again. This time it finally falters because MBK holds his own.
But surely they won't do it again, right? I mean, we've got this 4x now coming out from the side of North because that was a bonus round. They had SMGs.
Imagine a world where they just rush B now.
I've seen games on LAN where teams will just do that every single round, and it is kind of, yeah, it doesn't always work. This time I think North are actually going to go into their actual game plan because you do have to remember it's 11-8. You don't want to lose this rifle round because then things start to get very, very hairy. Vitality up to 12 and anti-eco ahead of them, but almost a nice nade, just avoided by Kiebi. Brushes against his leg. But don't worry, he won't have to write an apology for that. North do get that cat control very early on into the round. Still holding on to the exterior of long as well. They actually have no one in the tunnels. A little bit dangerous considering Vitality could get aggressive here, but I imagine they're a little bit conditioned to not want to fight B. That bomb being retrieved as well. And actually, this could end in a late B play. The only question mark is that bomb back at top middle. And with North backing out and bringing these players back towards the top of long, this is where they're finally going to cement their play. The smoke will hold them back for another few seconds, though, and RPK and Zai were both trained in on these doors, so pretty sizable defense here for the Frenchman. Now with 40 seconds on the clock, once this smoke fades, there's only going to be one left, and that's down on the B site for Vitality, so this is going to be the perfect time for North to try and go for this execute.
Oh, most definitely. These smokes falling in mid. You can see Vitality. You mentioned them being conditioned. They are very worried about these B plays. But RPK from down in the pit, he might have just saved this round because there's only 20 seconds left. While they've lost Zywoo Cadian, he's got a very long sprint ahead of him. And yeah, he's already fallen back. He's looking to try and save Kiebi. Yeah, he's kind of out on a limb here. Luckily enough, Vitalities do show some mercy. They back away. Kiebi's allowed to have a little bit of room to maneuver and hold on to this AK. And that's an important save. You know, you mentioned how for North, things could still slip away from them, right? The scoreline's very, very close, but Vitality are still do still have that lead under their belt. If everyone had died there, would have been the eco here for North. And that there means it should have been an easy 13th round for Vitality. At least now you have a bit to take with you. Alternatively, they could even buy here. AZ can go ahead and buy an AK. Kiebi can drop one over. They still have that AWP on Cadian, so they'll have 4 rifles, if you include the AWP in that. Val, they're going to be a little bit limited, or whoever they decide to distribute that by. But it will still be a decent one, and they do still have a decent bit of firepower to go toe-to-toe versus Vitality in this round.
Without a doubt, it's just Vitality only 4 rounds away from a victory on their map pick is definitely the fear in the back of the minds of North. The earlier B rushes at the start of the half may have worked out well, but now they really need to crunch the numbers. Attempted mid to be fake did not pan out too well for them, and RBK having a huge round individually, which is nice to see. He is sitting pretty high up on the scoreboard as well, sitting on 13 kills. Second top, in fact, for his team. But back into another rifle round, and North with 3 players immediately in the tunnels with the bomb as well. It won't be that early rush because Vitality have so many nades, and look how prepared they were. Double HE deep in the tunnels, flashbang to follow. We've got Apex playing that top box, and MBK waiting on the other side as well, so not the duo you want to run into if you're North, so they'll circumvent that for the time being, moving in towards those lower tunnels. Bit of a spam. Kiebi's left to 6 HP, so he really got away lucky there, or unlucky, but could have been far worse. Cadian peeks out and does get that entry kill, knowing exactly where Alex was due to the trajectory of that shot. A nice pickup as well, because now that's opened up the possibility for this mid to B play with the mid player taken out of the round. Look at Vitality on A though. They've already started to push up deep on long, and if they begin this flank, if RBK gets his control, that can allow for his teammate to be very, very aware of this mid to B split.
MBK now going back to check it. He will be that first point of contact, and as they come his way, He's dropped almost immediately. Apex now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Either he fights Cadian or he chooses to go back into the 3 players at the bomb site. He goes with the lesser of 2 evils, but Cadian still able to mop him up. North will be securing a 9th round here almost for sure. Vitality looking to try and hold off long. Both players back to back. It's RPK and ZywOo trying to hold the AUG and AK forward into the next round if they can. You can already see North aren't keen on this idea. They've narrowed down where Vitality are, and they're going to try and investigate this long doors just a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunate round though for Vitality. I mean, they had the info there that there was going to be a mid to be split due to the push up from RPK clearing out long, but Kiebi sold them a little bit with that fake up on short. He threw in a Molotov and all his nades actually up towards that A site to try and keep these 2 A players at bay. Plus that mid smoke, of course, cutting off their line of sight down into the CT spawn allows for that mid split with 3 players, and nice execute from North to actually get themselves another round. Keeps this in check. It's not quite the hard reset to Vitality, who will still have some money to invest. They can get a fairly decent buy into this one. Some limitations, of course. MBK's down on a pistol, and this is actually a great round for North to rush B, because Vitality, look at their utility, or lack of. It's Alex and Apex down towards this B bomb site with 1 Molotov and already a casualty. Apex has crept up, but Cadian's not spotted it. It's the lower tunnel play that gets their attention, but Cadian is so ready. Second kill coming through. North will charge that B bomb site, and there's only RPK left up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I mean, yeah, I guess he's looking to try and save, so silver lining is, in that sense, he's in the right place at the right time, which is nowhere near that damn B-bomb site. The only issue he's going to have is North, with 5 players surviving once again, the temptation is definitely going to be there to take this gun away from him. Gade pushing in through lower tunnels, and look at them just swarming across the map. Like a pack of hyenas on the hunt. Pack of lions, maybe. RPK, well, he's certainly going to hear the roar of Gade's AK as he gets picked up over the wood shot. They don't let him get away with the save. So North reaching double digits and closing this gap. Let's not forget, North were able to pick up the pistol here. They converted the next couple. First rifle, things look good for Vitality. You know, they find their footing. They're able to get off to a decent start. Now we see North chaining together too, and just like that, the reset comes in for Vitality.
Yeah, and already fast flashes out long. No one to play behind it, because it is common to see pistol stacks on long in these kind of eco rounds. Or even nade stacks for that, but Vitality, they're lacking utility. 1 flashbang to help ZywOo peer out, but he'll find nothing. A lone deagle in a sea of USPs. North are going to creep and crawl up towards the A site. That Molotov can go down to force anyone off of the default box, and it will indeed. 2 players playing the ramp and 2 players no longer playing the ramp. There's a third to move in as Valdi finds both kills. There's no way he'll expect it, but I'm sure he'll be able to hit it. Again, we only have USPs here for Vitality, so a bit of a clean sweep it seems for North. No real resistance put up from the likes of the French, and this will be an 11th round coming in for the Danes. Now we have a real game on our hands, Harry. What was a bit of a stomp in that first half of Vitality, a 10-5 half. North have certainly brought this back to a very good scoreline. Of course, a really nice round from Valdi as well, with him starting to warm up that Infinity Spells. Disaster for Vitality. Cadian's been fragging off all game as well without AWP, so ZywOo's really got a tough task ahead of him.
And this has been the thing with North. I mean, much like tub thumping by Chumbawamba, they get knocked down, but they get up again. That's the thing. North, they're doing a good job of grinding out these wins, getting back into these games. Really, they have no business, because once again, let's not forget, this was a 10-5 half in favor of Vitality. Nuke was 11-4 in favor of Vitality.
Chub what?
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba, okay.
It's the name of the band, or artist, rather.
I'll keep myself ignorant.
I mean, you've probably heard the song without, yeah, okay, so, well.
Either way. Slow play from North. They're holding the default for now. This AWP not eager to try and make a play on the side of ZywOo. Instead, he's just holding on to that B site and middle as well. From the site. Can always peek into window. because we don't have a lot of mid info for Vitality. I think Alex is boosted up. No, he's just playing behind that lower box, so he's giving North a lot of control if they wanted to, but he's also got that window covered. In fact, North may abuse the fact that there's no one fighting middle here and no AWP to be seen as they smoke both sides. This gives them a really good way of getting out into middle without worrying about that AWP on the window and still focusing on anyone playing around this smoke, much as how Alex is doing. It's a creep through for Valdi. Oh, he's got to be very careful, but noise being made from Alex. He'll hear it. Flank coming through, and Valdi lands a shot. Now North executing up through the catwalk. 20 seconds left, but the kills are flying in left, right, and center. ZywOo cannot find a kill. And it's Apex, the last man standing here for Vitality, as North do own the site, do own the round, and equal it up with 12-12.
And I mean, once again, it's the same problem as what we saw on Nuke. History is repeating itself before our very eyes, Hugo.
Yeah.
And I mean, this time it's kind of a double whammy for Vitality, right? It was bad enough that it happened on Nuke, but if it starts happening to you again, that's really when you know there's going to be a bit more friction. Morale's going to kind of start to drop off, because in your head, you know you've already let one game slip through your fingers, and you think surely it can't happen twice. Yet here it is.
Especially not on their map pick as well. I mean, that's the worst place for it to happen. You can brush it off on Nuke and go, you know, whatever. We had a great start. We know what we need to work on. Let's save that for the future. We've still got our map. And then this happens on your map. Well, definitely an inexperienced team, but North are very much... When I say inexperienced team, I mean as a team. I obviously don't mean individually. Individually, there's so much experience on these guys, but this roster's only existed for a few months now, whereas North have had a little more time to synergize. Either way, I mean, that's not really an excuse at this point. It's your map pick, you're giving away a massive lead, you're down on an eco. North are ready to take away 13 rounds, and that could even be done with another B rush. We have 4 players immediately in the tunnels, no utility on Vitality to stop this after that nade goes in. And already a pick, that will open up the site.
Okay, holding close, but you're asking a lot of one man and just a CZ, Alex. Similar situation, and they're asking even more of him. In that smoke, he's going to go to get tagged. Yeah, I mean, you just save, right, if you're Vitality, surely. There's no point in giving much. Not that it really matters either way. You can send in some of these players like Armor to try and find an AK, try and take a weapon out of this round. Alex going to look to try and hold on to his armor, you imagine. And there's RPK managing one. They won't be able to retrieve the AWP, though, as much as they would like. Val, they're quick to juggle that out from any prying eyes of Vitality players that might try and pick it up. Okay. Alex manages another. There's a couple of weapons now here. It's a bit of an arsenal in the tunnels. Sadly, nothing comes of it. North, 13-12, taking the lead for the first time in this matchup since the pistol round. And for Vitality, I mean, it's, as we've been saying, same case as back on Nuke. The pressures are going to be really kind of getting to them now.
And this is now where you're at a point where this is almost impossible to win for Vitality in terms of, you know, you have to suddenly go from not winning really more than one rifle round in your entire half to winning every single rifle round, because it is just that. It's all going to be rifle rounds. North have 16k on some of these players before the buy. They can buy for the rest of the game, and Vitality know it. MBK getting tagged on the cross, and the same story for RPK on that long peak. Everything is coming up top trumps for North. So much early damage that Vitality are not going to be too happy with.
I mean, an important thing to know, right? You think about how crucial ZywOo was back on Nuke. We were questioning how would he do here on Dust. It's an AWPer's paradise. AWPers can, you know, create or define this map. Make or break. And Cadian, he's certainly been making it for North. He's got 22 kills, top of the board, top of the server even. Over on the side of Vitality, MBK is really the only man, along with RPK, who they have stepping up. Alex, ZywOo, Apex, all falling reasonably silent.
Yeah, and it's 6-1 for opening duels for Cadian. I mean, that just shows the value of this AWP and how many rounds he's opened up with a pick, especially on this second half. But it's the fight down on B. Apex doing his best to defend. North do spot him out after they lose Gade, and they go, whatever, man advantage, you can have the B site, we'll double back. However, they might meet a man in the spawn. It's RPK. Tanks aren't known for their speed, but he's already worked his way into the spawn for a little bit of time. North do eventually take him out. Now it's ZywOo left to shine. He misses his shot. That's not going to be what they need. Oh dear, Vitality were begging for that pick. But now they know exactly where now North know exactly where both these two players sit, and they are split up.
Yeah, these two are a long way from the warm embrace of one another. Apex gonna have to try and hold his ground here at B. Maybe ZywOo can catch the man up in window. Not quite. Apex, there's only 7 seconds. If he drops the bomb, that's the round, and indeed he does. No time. All ZywOo has to do is survive. Valde has to take this fight, and he's gonna win it with 1 second left. So North, 14-12. And oh no, ZywOo, it's all fallen apart. That was their round. All ZywOo had to do was hide.
Look at Valde. Oh dear. That is, I mean, if you're not already broken, that breaks you right there. Losing a round with 1 second left. ZywOo, he had to either hit a shot or hide. He couldn't do either. And it didn't even look like Valde was going to get the kill. He was slow to walk out those doors. He was being careful in case ZywOo was trying to take the fight, but he still gets it down in the last millisecond. Oh no, Harry. What a blunder. 14-12 here. Vitality, their money is out the window as well. We have 2 players on $4,000, but 3 on 3K, and so now you've got to throw it up. Do you want to play for that OT, or do you want their win here and now?
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious to see what the decision is. And you know, as you remember, we came into this map. One of the things we were discussing, ZywOo, after going very, very slow on their T side of Nuke, would he be able to recover? And I think most people kind of look at him. They look at him as the big performer in this team. He's very consistent as that. Imagining that he's able to pick things back up. The thing you've got to bear in mind is least experienced player on the team by a landslide, very young. And then you take into account that his game here on Dust gets off to a terrible start as well. He gets knifed, he's getting out-aimed by Cadian, and since then, he's just struggled to get back into this.
One detail as well is the man on your screen, MBK, who had a stunning T-side. I don't know how many kills he's had in the second half, but it has been extremely limited. He was getting entry left, right, and center, and now he's struggling to defend anything, and, well, the B site being a great example of that. North are about to charge on him once more. MBK, nothing again. It's North to run wild over the site. And that bomb down, I think the round is done.
I mean, North have just been so on top of things this T-half. It hasn't even been up for question. They have been the better team here on Dust 2. I don't think there's any denying that fact. This CT side from Vitality has looked very, very flat. Alex and ZywOo. Ooh, okay, maybe there's a chance. Maybe something crazy could happen here, but Alex caught crossing back. ZywOo brought down low. And if there was any 2 players I would have faith in suddenly from nowhere coming up with a clutch, it would be those 2 playing off of one another. Unfortunately, it's quickly mopped up. It's very easy to contain and deal with for North, and they're going to reach map and series point here.
Yeah, this is a really stunning second half from North. They have come back from not only Nuke getting a victory after being down 11-4, but also doing the exact same thing on a 10-5 half on Dust. This is a well-deserved victory for them if they do find it, and I think they will at this point. Cadian, a mid-pick down through the smoke. Valde going to charge on through as well. He's going to find a player not watching middle, and just like that, Vitality are down to 3 rather. Getting torn apart limb from limb as North look to split this B bomb site, and they're coming in clutch. Kiebi with another frag. Alex is all that remains, and North will be finding their way to a 2-0 victory here unless Alex has anything to say.
Well, he's dropped the bomb. That's the first hurdle at least, but you're asking a lot. Alex, new kid on the block. Coming in to replace Happy now is to go and do so much, and he looks very unhappy as North. They close this out 16-12. Another monumental comeback. This time on Dust, the map pick, obviously, of Team Vitality. Similar story to Nuke, though, a 10-5 half for the Vitality guys. This time around, North able to win out both pistols, get the conversions from them. That definitely helped. They build back into things into that second half. What a performance, by the way, from the likes of Cadian, can I just say. Yeah, not normally the man we're used to seeing top of the board for North, but my goodness, did he pour his heart and soul into that game there.
Yeah, so many opening duels and winning almost every single time. That was the key there, finding so many picks. But we'll be letting some other more qualified people break that one down over on the desk. Let's throw it over to Trace and the gang.
Well, qualification is the name of the game, and well, for all of France right now, I do believe we have a mixture of pitchforks, torches, and baguettes all raised in the air, all very unhappy for what just happened right there, but for what it's worth, that's not the end of the road for this Vitality team. They do see defeat, but it's not the end. That's what I want to stress very much here, because there's still a second chance. There is redemption for them, but they did just catch an L.
Fantastic stuff by North, though, to stay poised in 2 games where they were like looking like they were out of it. In back-to-back maps, Vitality were off to fantastic starts, fantastic first halves, looking really, really dominant. And then North, with the poise, the experience that they should have by, you know, having the likes of Valde, Katie and AZ and Kirby in your team, it actually showed, right? And they were able to mount those comebacks, stay poised, and then even towards the end, you saw Valde doing a little bit of trash talking over to yeah, that's what you want. That's the experience factor coming in, right? That's the playing a lot of lands and really taking advantage of all the facets.
Yeah, and that being a facet that isn't normally, I don't want to say exploited, but really used to its advantage that you see very much these days, unfortunately. Natu, you know all about this coming from, you know, ancient times that you came from.
Psychological warfare is a thing, right? I mean, it's a big part of it. But I think it was more of the same from that first map. Again, fundamental mistakes were kind of the lapse of Vitality in the end there. You know, you could see a bunch of times where North didn't even have to use like a massively thought through set piece to enter to a bomb site. We see a lot of just ramming into B or just walking out of catwalk, getting that first pick and kind of opening things up. And, you know, what that calls for from Vitality would be maybe a bit more aggression, have some heads-up plays, and maybe North wouldn't be able to take them as much.
Well, you want to talk about what we called for, and what we're going to call for next is an interview with the winners of that matchup. One winner in specific would be Cadian. That's the guy we're going to be going down to there on the sidelines with Mr. Jason Kaplan. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Thank you very much, Stunna. Yes, Cadian, first of all, congratulations on that massive victory. It has to feel amazing for you, but I want to ask about, before we even get to the match, you've just recently joined the team. How does it feel going from Rogue now over here to North?
I think it is a very exciting change. I was super grateful and happy for all my time in Rogue. The staff and the teammates did everything they could to make me feel welcome, even though being so far away from home, living in the US. So I really appreciate that, and I'm very thankful for that. Joining North has been like a dream for a long time. Playing in such a good Danish team, I've kind of been not involved in the Danish scene for a long while, so finally getting back is super great and awesome. So I think it's super good. The start has probably been a bit hectic, and I know the fans and community can be a bit harsh on us, but in the end that's because the expectations are super high, which I feel like is a good thing. It says something about the talent in the team and the potential. So we're just hoping to reach that potential at some point.
And with that victory, most importantly, you now have an extra chance to get through into the major. Now you're guaranteed a minimum of 3rd place, which takes you into the last chance qualifier. Are you guys even thinking about that, or are you just focused on that next match?
I mean, I'm not going to complain. Obviously, that's a good bonus, but we're here to go all the way to get that major spot right now. So basically, we're happy with it, but not satisfied yet. We hope to play either Valiance or ENCE in an exciting match at least.
Well, speaking of those 2 teams, who are you looking to play? Who would you rather play between those 2?
I think it's difficult. I think ENCE is a super strong team. They have their fundamentals down and they have some really good individuals. Valiance, I mean, no one really expected them to even make it out of the group, but to go 3-0 versus Mouseballs, that's a huge achievement. So I don't know who I really want to face. I'm just excited to play either one because I think both have been doing pretty good at this event.
I'm going to ask you just one last question really quickly, thinking back to Nuke. You're playing against ZywOo. I mean, this man's made a name for himself being such a young player, and you started on T side of Nuke. Going into that match, what was your guys' thought process to maybe eliminate him or kind of prevent him from being the legend that we know?
Let's just say ZywOo, he was owning us in warm-up. We felt like we had no chance. He was just tapping us all, so we knew what was coming. He's a super strong and talented player. I think already at this LAN, and like there's been a lot of doubts, but I think he's proven himself, and that he's definitely a player to watch out for in the future. And he will be a top 20 player, top 10 potentially, maybe even more. He's super good. We didn't really try to avoid him that much. Maybe that was a part of the issues why we didn't get that many rounds on T. But yeah. Definitely an interesting player, and yeah, not much more to say.
We know who else is a really good player that I'm proud of?
Me?
You, yeah, man. I'm proud of you. Yeah, give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Hug it out.
All right, so in the meantime, while I'm hugging Casper here, we're going to go back to the desk so they can break down the rest of that match.
Yes, indeed. And if there's one thing I learned, yes, hugs are comfortable for everyone, but also owning in warm-up is the most important component to maybe catching an L in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, usually actually that's the joke, right? With players, a lot of the times, like someone's owning the warm-up, he's using all his powers into the warm-up. It's not going to work out in the real game.
He kept his powers for Nuke.
Yeah, that's true.
He called a bit on Dust2, but the fact of the matter was they really on their CT side were just being dictated to.
Yeah, and I guess if we take a more in-depth look at what Dust2 was, I mean, we had a 10-5 first half right there going well in the way of Vitality. And then I guess there was just some sort of just change of pace all the way around once we switched halves. But I guess more importantly, that first half, what made it so apparent, so obvious that this was going one way?
So in that first half, there was a lot of saving done by North, and I think they're probably going to look back at that demo and said, hey, maybe we should have contested a little bit more. But we have a clip here of an example of when they had forced Vitality to go behind a buy on an AWP here. So you can see the two P250s, the AWP up, and this is a gamble stack by North. They did this quite a lot, but you can get behind the 8-ball. So what's going to happen is they're going to execute onto the A site. Cadian's going to get super unlucky here and go down to the P250 of MBK through the smoke. Valde's going to fall behind a Molotov. He's going to get dropped by RPK. And at this point, because you did that gamble stack, because you put 3 players over towards the B bomb site, you're going to see on the map when it comes up in a second that you just have to save. You're completely out of this round. There's no way back in. They didn't even get any kills or do hardly any damage.
Yeah, I think that's just down to the fact that Vitality has been known this tournament as well to do those B hits, basically. Yes. They just go late round and they just hit that with 2 men coming in, and then more often than not, even against 2 CTs, they'd be able to get both the entry kills, and that's pretty much round over. If it's like a 4-on-3 situation, 5-on-3 rather even, for the T side, very hard to retake.
Well, I did say that Vitality wasn't out of the running yet. That's exactly right, because they will be playing the loser of Valiance and Ents, which will be the next matchup. I guess, can we put just a lid here on what happened with Vitality and what they can hope to expand on going forward?
I just think, maybe take a couple more risks on their T side to find picks. They have the executes, but use your individual players to find those openings and play the mid rounds a little bit better.
Matthew, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, just think of the pacing in mid-round situations too. Sometimes they slow down a little bit too much and they get scared in certain situations. So, yeah, just go with your gut feeling and kind of use the instinct.
Well, my gut feeling tells me we're headed for an upper bracket semifinal here for the European Minor for the IEM Katowice Major of 2019. And we're going to be doing just that. But first, we're going to be going to a break. When we come back, I guarantee you it's going to be Valiance versus Ents squaring off on maybe even 3 maps if we're lucky. But let's go to that break and be with us when we come back.